Most people think diabetes is a pancreas problem, and they're only about 1% right. I'm Dr. Berg, turning keto and health science into simple habits that transform lives. And today I want to show you something about blood sugar regulation that almost nobody in medicine talks about. Something that changes how you understand diabetes, cravings, fatigue, and weight gain at a fundamental level. Let's start with the basic law your body operates by. No matter what, your body must maintain blood sugar at around 100 milligrams per deciliter. That is non-negotiable. Your body will tear itself apart, break down muscle, cannibalize tissue to keep that number stable. That's how important it is. When blood sugar goes too high, that's hyperglycemia. That's diabetes. When it goes too low, that's hypoglycemia. The goal is always 100, and two organs coordinate to maintain it. The liver, 3.5 pounds, the size of a football, sitting on your right side. And the pancreas, a much smaller organ tucked just below your left rib cage. Here is how they work together and why this matters so much. When you eat, the pancreas takes over. It releases insulin, which pulls sugar out of the blood. When you're not eating, the liver takes over. It releases sugar back into the blood to keep levels stable. Back and forth, all day, all night. Now, when insulin pulls sugar out of the blood, that sugar goes one of three places. It gets used immediately as energy if you're exercising or active. It gets stored as glycogen, the body's sugar reserve held in the liver and muscles. Or if there's too much and nowhere to put it, it gets converted directly into fat. Here's something most people have never been told about that middle option, storing sugar as glycogen. To store sugar, your body needs potassium. One potassium molecule for every glucose molecule. Potassium is essentially the glue that holds stored sugar together. So when potassium is low, your body cannot store sugar properly. Blood sugar starts dropping, and your brain sends one signal in response: craving, that desperate craving for something sweet. It is not weakness. It is not lack of willpower. It is your body screaming for potassium. And what do most people do when they get that craving? They eat sugar, which spikes insulin, which drops blood sugar again, which creates another craving. The real solution is potassium from vegetables. 7 cups of vegetables per day minimum. One banana gives you around 400 milligrams. Your body needs 4,700 milligrams daily. You cannot pill your way to that number. You have to eat the vegetables. Now, let's talk about diabetes. And here is where I want you to slow down and really absorb what I'm about to say. Type 2 diabetes is not primarily a pancreas problem. It is a liver problem. Type 2 diabetes is insulin resistance. The liver's cells have been so chronically bombarded with insulin that they stop responding to it. Like getting telemarketing calls every day for a year, eventually you stop picking up the phone. The drug metformin, also called glucophage, works by making liver cells more receptive to insulin again. It essentially forces the phone to get picked up. Each liver cell has 200,000 insulin receptors. Metformin works on those receptors. So the drug is working on the liver, not the pancreas. Type 1 diabetes is different and more serious. That is a pancreas problem. The cells that make insulin have burned out completely. No insulin is produced. Blood sugar climbs without control. Insulin injections are required because the body simply cannot make its own. Type 2, liver. Type 1, pancreas. Understanding that difference matters enormously for how you approach treatment. Now, here's the piece of information that genuinely stunned me when I found it. The liver produces a hormone called IGF-1. insulin-like growth factor. And the ratio of work done between this liver hormone and pancreatic insulin is 100 to 1. The liver is doing 100 times the blood sugar regulation work that the pancreas is doing. 100 times. Yet almost everything in medicine focuses on insulin and the pancreas. The liver is almost entirely ignored in the conversation about diabetes. Why has this been missed? Because the two hormones are measured in completely different units, like trying to compare Celsius and Fahrenheit without a conversion. The 100 to 1 ratio is invisible unless you know to look for it. But once you see it, the implication is clear. If you improve liver function by just 20%, you take 80% of the burden off the pancreas. 80%. The exhausted insulin-producing cells in the pancreas get relief. The system begins to recover. Blood sugars stabilize. This is why liver health is the foundation of blood sugar control, not a side consideration. And liver damage doesn't always show up on standard blood tests until significant damage has already occurred. Most people walking around with compromised liver function don't know it. Now, IGF-1 from the liver is also deeply connected to growth hormone. Growth hormone triggers the liver to release IGF-1. They work as a team. They're nearly identical in function. Growth hormone does three critical things. It mobilizes fat for fuel, which is why it's the primary fat-burning hormone. It is powerfully anti-aging, protecting collagen, cartilage, skin integrity, and joint health. And it protects protein, meaning it prevents your body from breaking down muscle and converting it to sugar under stress. This is called protein sparing. Without enough growth hormone, cortisol wins. Cortisol breaks down muscle, particularly in the thighs and legs, which is why so many people struggle to build or tone that area regardless of how much they exercise. Growth hormone naturally declines with age, roughly every decade past 50, which means as you get older, your liver's ability to regulate blood sugar diminishes. You have to be even more precise with your diet to compensate for what your body can no longer do automatically. So, how do you bring growth hormone up and support liver function naturally? Interval training, short, intense bursts of exercise, 30 seconds of effort, 3 minutes of rest, repeated every other day. This is one of the most powerful stimulants for growth hormone available. Not long cardio sessions, short, intense, and well recovered. Sleep 7 to 8 hours. Growth hormone is released primarily during deep sleep. This is not negotiable if you want to support your metabolic health. And food. The liver loves bitter vegetables. It loves low sugar, nutrient-dense foods that support its detoxification and regeneration. And the single food I come back to more than any other for liver health is kale. A kale shake in the morning does more for blood sugar regulation than most people would ever guess, because it directly supports the organ that is doing 100 times the blood sugar work that everyone else is focused on. More potassium, less insulin spiking, better growth hormone output, less protein breakdown, better aging. Everything connects back to the liver. I hope this gives you a completely new way of looking at blood sugar, because once you understand where the real work is happening, you can focus your effort where it actually matters. I'll see you in the next video.